look, we're here. This is my country. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is At the Table. Happy New Year. I'm walking away from the microphone for a minute. Hang on. You're hearing me wander away. There we go. We're up and alive and kicking, and I hope y'all can hear me. Once again, welcome to At the Table. This is your host, Kelly Lincoln, and I know you're all surprised about the fact that I am here live and in person because I haven't been here live and in person for quite a while, and you're listening to At the Table here on Spreaker.com. I guess we'll be repeated later on netrootsradio.com. So listen to the podcast. You can also download it as a podcast from iTunes, your favorite podcatcher, Stitcher, here it's on Stitcher, wherever you can even listen as a podcast here on Spreaker.com. I'm live in person and looking at a bottle of seltzer right now because it is Snowpocalypse Lips here in New York City, and we are actually going to make it into the top 5 blizzards. And actually, because of the amount of snowfall that we have currently in Central Park, which is like 20 inches. I didn't go to work today because nothing is running. Yay! I'm watching the TV for Saturday. No sports, no real news, just wall-to-wall coverage of the blizzard, of the storm, and the hell it's putting a lot of people through, especially in North Carolina and near the Kentucky-Virginia border. There is, if you haven't heard, a whole bunch of people in vehicles on the highway at the Kentucky-Virginia border that are stranded and have been stranded there since yesterday due to a jackknife truck that is blocking the road and has made it impossible for traffic to get through. And so it's kind of like Donner Party Redux, although this time there are going to be, there are folks that are delivering heat, fuel and whatever they need so people don't start eating each other, which when you're stuck in a frozen overpass with no way out until the spring calls for desperate times and desperate measures, yes indeed. Although, fun fact, not everybody in the Donner Party who was trapped up at the summit in the Sierra Nevadas. 8 other people. I think one person was eaten, and it was like embarrassing. But it was that whole embarrassing. Well, we had to eat our friend to survive. Sort of like the same thing with the plane crash in the Andes, where they had to cannibalize the people who were killed in the crash so they could stay alive. So anyway, it was really rather a nice day news-wise. It was all about snow and getting snowed in and how DC is being buried in snow. And the complaints that people have regarding the 2 inches of the dusting of snow that brought everything to a standstill in DC. Not realizing that underneath that dusting of snow is black ice, and the Congress holding the purse strings to the DC budget. So how much can that also be laid at the feet of those tightwad Congress critters who don't even want to see their city, the city that they, govern properly and run properly. It's been a nice day. I went out last night about 3 o'clock as the snow just started coming down and caught some photos, the nice, beginnings of the blizzard, and I just had no will to go outside today and take more pictures because I'm a short person, and I didn't want to be buried up to my kneecaps in the snow because the sidewalks aren't shoveled and the snow and the streets haven't been plowed yet. And no, just not doing that. But I'll also say something else that I really enjoyed about today. Listen. You hear that? That is what Simon and Garfunkel were talking about when they wrote The Sounds of Silence. Maybe. There was no street noise. There were no sirens going by, no cars honking their horns, no traffic on Broadway below. And it has been this quiet all day long, and I couldn't be happier. Now, I know that, some of you listening in other parts of internet radio land are thinking, especially those of you up in the frozen tundra of Minnesota and the Dakotas and maybe Alaska, thinking, what's the big deal? Well, people kind of freak out when they hear the word blizzard, and it's not attached to like a drink, a frozen creamy drink, People hear the word blizzard, and they strip supermarket shelves clean of stuff that at some point, like bread and that, they're never going to eat. Hopefully they've got large freezers that they can stuff all the bread into and everything else that they've pulled off the shelves, so they have it. But this being New York, somehow I doubt it. So that is how my Saturday has been. And it's been wonderful. On the other hand, I have steeled my bullshit meter, had it tuned up, oiled, springs replaced, diodes cleaned, even LEDs cleaned, and have listened to the I can't even say it's insanity or the crazy. I don't know what it is. Between Donald Trump and Sarah Palin, my migraines have returned. And now, interesting things that Donald Trump has said over the last, said and done over the last few days. Oh yes, at a rally today, he said he could go out onto Fifth Avenue and shoot someone, and he wouldn't lose a single voter. Think about that. This is a man saying that he could go outside, commit a murder, or attempt to commit a murder, and his base would love him for it. Also consider that besides the fact that his daddy was a racist landlord, that Woody Guthrie immortalized in song, he doesn't have any problems retweeting tweets with images from white supremacists. The latest one that he sent out over the Twitterverse was one in which it showed Trump putting Sanders into a gas chamber. So now we have it full on out, and I don't give a shit what anybody says. Donnie Trump is Jew baiting. Not as elegantly as Cruz did when he talked about New York values, ending that phrase with media and money, because as we all know, we Jews are not only the Illuminati, but we control everything in the world. Yes, we are so, I don't know. Glenn Beck. He who thinks he is Norman Beale is afraid of Donald Trump. The National Review has gotten slammed by Donald Trump because they don't like him. Poor little baby who has never heard the word no in his confronted with the fact that not everybody loves him. And wow, there's some great art. There's a great article, some great stuff in the National Review essays on conservatives and why they don't support Trump. It's lovely to read, especially the one by Edwin Meese. If I remember correctly, Meese was one of Nixon's people, I think. Or he was one of either Nixon's or Reagan's, I can't remember which one. But I'm an old person with a brain injury, so Nixon, Reagan, kind of like the same individuals, both asshats from California. One was a traitor, the other was a sellout. No, wait, they were both traitors. And I mean that sincerely, because Nixon interfered with Johnson, with the peace talks in Vietnam, in order to get elected. And Reagan did the same thing with the hostages in Iraq to get elected. I mean, we see the same sort of thing going on in the House right now with the Republicans that are going behind the president's back and attempting to strike deals with Netanyahu. It's typical. It's sad, but it's the way that particular group of politicians have become. And I want to remind everybody that those of you who think that, hey, Machiavelli said by any means necessary, no, that was actually an Arab by the name of Hassan Isabah, who founded the Order of the Assassins. He was the original Old Man of the Mountains. So, think about it. No, you don't have to, but what happened? What was the rest of my week? Oh, yeah, I got my taxes done. How many of you out there, listen to me, got your taxes done and are getting a refund? All of you? Awesome! Just perfect. I am very happy that I'm actually getting a tax refund. Well, I make so little money that I had better get a tax refund. You know what that's like, not making a lot of money, don't you? So anyway, my life in my little SRO has been quiet and nerve-wracking. And I'm actually writing about it. It's called, I haven't quite decided if it's going to be a situation comedy or a crime, a one-off crime drama. Because sometimes you have floor mates that you just want to harm. Walked out of the room, my beautiful 200 square feet one day, and was confronted with the mellifluous odor of what smelled like somebody who had pooped their pants and had not bothered to clean it up. And that hung in the air for a couple of days, till the point where I had to ask a couple of my other floor mates if they had smelled it, because I didn't really know if I was going to, if I was having olfactory hallucinations or what. And fortunately, they were smelling it too. Then we have this mystery individual who I've seen up here a couple of times. He's a guest of one of my floor mates, but when he leaves the floor, dude is like sitting in the kitchen, just like chilling away, ignoring everything, reading his books or whatever. And I did, I should ask him, say, hey, who are you and who are you visiting? But somehow, I don't wanna. I just don't really care. There's somebody out there outside shoveling, hoping against hope to trying to keep some part of his sidewalk clean. It is still snowing. It is still blizzardy out. We have whiteout conditions here in New York City. And because today was so quiet news-wise, and I wasn't at work, and I didn't have to beg the people at the store that I am a vendor's rep in to, oh my God, listen, it's a snowplow. Oh my God, it's a snowplow. They're snowing. They're plowing the street below. I don't believe it. Oh my God. Well, they're not plowing the entire street, just the middle of it. 3 plows, just sanitation trucks with plows just went by, and they're not even trying to clear the entire street right now. Just clearing that path for emergency vehicles. New York's been the governor of the state of New York, and the mayor of New York City declared state of emergency. There's a travel ban, and there are people that are pissing about that because how dare you tell me I can't, risk my life and potentially like fuck up the clearing the plowing of the streets by having an accident on the road, so it's how dare they, and I think that's fine. If you want to drive, that's fine, but be prepared to have to pay pay handsomely for those emergency vehicles to pull you out of whatever snowbank you drift into before they pull you out of the snowbank, or immediately after, because if it's fine with me, I don't really care. I hate sitting down and trying to talk at the same time. It just doesn't work all that well for me. So, hit the microphone again. Turn myself up. Woohoo! Is that better? Can you hear me now? I hope so. Ooh, I just turned the gain up, which means when anybody listening to this recording is now suddenly going to hear this great big spike in volume for the last, as opposed to the last 15 minutes where it wasn't as punched up. But that's okay, it's live radio, and sometimes I forget to turn the volume on. And you're listening to At the Table here on netrootsradio.com and Spreaker.com. There is a chat room, although I'm not really good at doing multiple things at once. But you can join us in our chat room and hang out with, find out if Ricky's there, with Ricky and maybe a couple of other people. And just talk amongst yourselves. You can listen to what we're talking about. Talk about the snowstorm, or you cannot talk about the snowstorm. I'm the only person in there right now, so what can I say? It happens. It happens all the time. Waiting for Chan site to leave, and we'll find out who else is here. And if you're curious, you can go to netrootsradio.com and find our show listings, program listing. And you can see pictures of all of the folks that host on Netroots Radio. And you'll even see a picture of me. And like I said, there's a link for a chat room on that page. It's at the bottom of the page. There is also at the bottom of the page a link to the netrootsradio.com Patreon, and you can help support Netroots Radio primarily by donating at that link. And none of us who broadcast on Netroots Radio or even on Spreaker get paid. We are asking for your support just to keep our servers going. Our servers are located at the San Carlos Apache Reservation in Arizona. And shout outs to the awesome Charles, our Apache IT maven. He's an awesome human being. And to Sunscreen over in London is another awesome human being. So they're really not there. That's the only people that we're limiting it to. The rest of us do this for the love and the experience just is like that, you know? We're good people. We're fun people. What else is going on in my life? Going on here. See, it's like just by being in this situation where I am deprived of word stories. Oh, I am. Or even anything really more interesting to say. I tend to go back and talk to myself, which I'm sort of doing here. Because normally I would also be doing a mirror cast. So some of you folks could actually see what I look like. So yes, okay. Whoop. And wow, there are like there we go. Turn it around. Oh. Turn it around, you dumbasses. My camera is not rotating. There we go. Oh my god, there we go. I can see myself. For those of you that are just haven't quite tuned up yet, welcome to At the Table. Snowpocalypse edition. Trying to be witty and clever doesn't always happen, you know, so it can be a bit of a job trying to be witty and clever and actually playing without a script. And for those of you watching on Meerkat, you can see that I don't work with script. See? Isn't that fun? Isn't that exciting? I mean, just think about it. I'm trying to be Donald Trump without the Donald Trump ability to, well, maybe I can't go off on tangents and stuff like that. But, I had a dream. Yes, indeed, I had a dream the other night that, I have a new bike. It's a multiple speed bike, and it needs a new seat. That's the bike right there. And it needs a new seat. So in this dream, the seat that replaced it was maybe 6-8 inches high and kind of uncomfortable looking. I mean, slightly more uncomfortable looking than the seat that is currently on the bike. I have no idea what that means, but I thought I'd share it. What do you dream about at night? Do you like me actually dream about libraries and books? Being shown libraries, you know, not public libraries, but libraries in old large homes where the walls are covered with books in a random order, they're not numbered, and you see a book that intrigues you, you open it up, and you start reading, and you can't freaking remember what the book was about when you wake up. Those are the types of dreams I have. I have had other odd dreams, but I can't remember them right now. I've got them written down somewhere. But I neglected to look for them because I didn't even know I was going to be talking about what I dream about at night. But again, do you guys dream? And you keep a dream journal? Those are really cool for seeing patterns and recurring places that your subconscious creates for you at night. Now, for me, I'm thinking that the library is my internal vast collection of all the knowledge that ever has been and ever will be and will be to come. I just can't remember what the hell I read. Or write, sometimes I can remember, but most of the time it's really stupid things like, that's like saying Napoleonism is like communism, and communism is like Napoleonism. I actually dreamt that one, said that line in a dream back when I was in high school. Can't remember anything else from that dream, but I remember that line. I remember that line. And so one of the things I'm trying to do this year with this show, whether it's pre-recorded or if it's live right now, like it is on Spreaker, folks, on your cat. You can, if you're listening and you want to listen to what this thing sounds like, if want to listen to our past shows, we are Team Net. We are Networks Radio on Spreaker.com, and we do. I co-host another show later tonight called the Roundhouse Power Hour of whatever name we decide to keep it for that evening, and it's an hour of me actually making sense of it. Or, well, it's to attention deficit people who can't shut the fuck up and talk over each other. So, and they're snowed into up in upstate New York, so we're having fun here. I'm going to go back talking about films because I think it's important, that you record your dreams, you remember, because it's part of you. You write whatever, it can be the basis for some really awesome stories, poems, artwork, ideas. The sewing machine, the eye at the bottom of the needle, the sewing machine came about as a result of being so. Your brain is working on problems all the time. And you can get answers to things if you pay attention. And all I mean by paying attention is if you wake up and you just take a few minutes in the morning to go over what did I read last week? When I was growing up, in the mornings, my parents would ask my brother and I what we dreamt about at night. And so that encouraged our imagination. And I always had dreams about being able to breathe underwater. No idea what that means, but I could always, but whenever I went underwater, I was like Aquaman. I was Aquaman. I could breathe. I could breathe the water in and breathe it out. But I was smart enough when I went swimming not to actually try that. That's why I'm still there. Anybody, I've got some folks listening here now. So, any of you guys, for those of you that are listening to this on Spreaker.com, and later on Networks Radio, I'm also running a live stream on Meerkat, and I would really like to know if anybody else who is any of the people that are currently tuning into this are actually are also snowed in. Are you guys in Carolina, North Carolina, DC? Are you on the other side of the Snowpocalypse? Are you laughing hilariously at us because you're somewhere nice and warm, like Belize or Jamaica, or I don't know, hanging out in Cabo San Lucas in Baja, California? We know there's been some tornadoes and wild weather down in the south as the storm is headed north, and it's a little unnerving that we'll go back to the snow. actually, and DC both, have broken the record for snowfall. Usually, it's 3 days to accumulate the amount of snow that has fallen so far in DC, Washington, D.C., and here in New York City. Think about that. We have 20 inches of snow in Central Park in really one day that takes out that the last time we had 20 inches of snow here took 3 days for it to fall. Think about that. Also, if you're been keeping a line on the Twitters, they have there's been some great photos of the city under the snow, and Mark Kelly from the space station got this really spectacular photo of thunder snow, and there's another great photo from the space station, International Space Station, that shows the blizzard from above, and it's just a gorgeous picture. So NASA.com and the International Space Station and the European Space Administration are giving us the opportunity to see our planet in truly a whole new perspective. Speaking of whole new perspectives, the Mama National Refuge occupation. Whole bunch of people, non-residents of Harney County, are very, very upset that the town meeting has had a change of venue and is being restricted to residents of Harney County. I mean, how dare the county decide that people, also that firearms are not permitted on property. So there's a whole bunch of people that are really pissed off about that, and none of them reside in Harney County because they don't have ID to prove that they live in Harney County, and we just got a picture. I have no idea why the picture just dropped from your cabinet on this, because it is Time Warner Cable high-speed internet, damn it. Might be the weather, who knows. Currently, in our IRC chapter, I'm being kept company by Channel Surf for some unknown reason. And don't worry, for those of you that want to listen to this on networksradio.com, this will be edited out, all the dead air, because nothing sounds worse, really, on tape than dead air. And again, you're listening to At the Table here on networksradio.com and streaming live on Spreaker.com. And yeah, what can I say? Hey, David. I'm very easy to please. Since I'm snowed in, not snowed in, but snowed in, I have my crock pot going, and I'm just threw whatever I had in the refrigerator into it, and so it's going to be a stew. It's so quiet. I mean, I'm actually being distracted by the silence. Listen. Listen to the silence. I'm sure somewhere in Manhattan, or New York City proper, all 5 boroughs, and Long Island, somewhere, somebody is flipping their shit because it's too quiet. I grew up in quiet. I find it nice not to have that continual ambient noise of traffic and street noise all the time. You know, it's just very nice, it's very relaxing, and it's going to drive me to drink. Hello, Daewoo! Welcome, and thank you for joining us, and I'm not wearing my glasses. Hang on a second, I'm going to duck over and get my glasses. liking me, streaming me because aren't they adorable? Don't they look like somebody's mom? Thank you, Landing Point, and who else? And David Dorian Ross, thank you. For those of you, I was talking about, let me go back and look at this. For those of you, and boy, am I going to have something better to do, because who knows, maybe I'll just leave it the way it is. Talking about dreams and remembering dreams, writing them down, and how that can spur a lot of things in your life. My life, your life, whatever. I mean, as I was saying, we had a morning ritual besides breakfast where I grew up with having breakfast, sitting down eating breakfast before school. Middle class privilege. And in the mornings, we would be asked what we dreamt about the previous night, and my brother and I would recount our dreams. So I developed a pretty good sense of dream recall. Then I started keeping a dream journal. And then I had my head injury, and then I wasn't able to remember my dreams. I knew my dreams didn't have the ability to remember them when I woke up, which, like a lot of things with head injury, is like really depressing. I mean, when a lot of people don't quite get that with brain injury. I mean, we're becoming much more aware of the affects and effects of repeated head trauma, and what that can do to your executive functions, which is controlled by the frontal lobe of your brain, and that's your decision-making area that controls your ability to control your emotions. And there's more research now being done on the prolonged effects or the effects of head trauma that don't go away. Because most of the time we only hear about the extreme cases of head injury. Gary Busey, Robert Woodruff, both of them are like, considering the extent of their head and brain trauma, are remarkably are high, more functioning than me, and I have a mild traumatic brain injury. But it does affect how you handle situations, your frustrations, and people think that when I get loud, I am angry. No, I'm just getting loud because I'm frustrated. And that's an affect of the brain injury. Whenever I look at myself, I see like it looks like my eyes are half closed. That's also because of the brain injury, and actually an injury to the ocular muscles. But working on remembering your dreams and writing them down, even if they're tiny bits of fragments, little sentences or words or an image or something, or trying to draw it, even if you don't draw all that, can improve your memory, your ability to recall other things. Helps you brainstorm ideas because you've got that flexible thinking and you can write that stream of consciousness. So you don't have to be brain injured to keep a dream journal. When I started mine, I wasn't. It was just sort of like, tonight I dreamed about toothpaste. Or being in a car and being the passenger and never driving. That's the other thing. I dream about being in a car or some sort of motor vehicle or some sort of transportation. I'm never the one driving. I have no control star of your own reality show. How do you want to take that story? Where do you want to go with it? Like I said, I could have gone out earlier today with my camera and taken some photos of me knee deep in the side, shoveling sidewalk snow, but didn't want to. Just didn't want to. The other, for a couple of reasons, besides that the snow was really deep and I don't have like proper outdoor snow clothing. Not the last big blizzard, but back in 2006 when there was a big blizzard in 2000, yeah. I was homeless and I was living on the streets. And nobody came to get me off the streets. There was nowhere to go. Except to a copy shop here up top. Copy, C-O-P-Y shop that was open 24 hours. So if I don't have to go out and be out in weather like this, I don't want to be out in weather like this. I won't go out in weather like this. I'd rather stay to be warm and be in that way sensory deprived of the cold air and the snow and everything else that goes along with being out in the blizzard. But it's whiteout conditions. I'm not, even though I'm kind of pink. I'm not going out there. So, and yeah, it's just that simple. Yeah, it's just that simple. It's not easy talking about when you were homeless and you were working, and because you were working, nobody reached out to help you. In fact, when they did reach out, it was to help them. This is my favorite brand of homeless advocates here in New York City. I called 2 shelters once. Well, not once, but there was one day I just got tired. I just needed a place to lay down. So I called a couple of shelters. And I explained to them the situation. The situation was, I was living with a traumatic brain injury. I was working. And I wasn't earning enough money to afford a shift. And both shelters told me to quit my job and get me in a facility. They were really interested in helping me find housing, find a share. They were interested in getting money for their shelter. And once I realized that, I did my damnedest to not go in a shelter, maintain the social life that I had. So that's the other thing with being homeless, is that unless you keep a sense of morality in your life, which means a social life, I was working 2 jobs. Friends, hanging out with friends. I was told I sang in the choir, dumped my boyfriend, dumped my job, and, just don't worry, we'll get you even less money than what we're making work. If I were on disability right now, I would be making approximately $300 a month less than what I make now part-time. That's not fine. And don't you just look at the drawer and look on here? See? This is proof. This is proof. This is freckles, right? Oh, you guys on screen can't see this. But on the side of my face, I have Bajoran freckling. So I guess I am an alien. Thank you, Landing Point, for following me and for restreaming. It's nice that people find this interesting. Or maybe they're just, or maybe you're just waiting to see if I'm going to say something interesting. But yeah, I'm interested. I'm the most interesting thing you will hear tonight on Spreaker and tune into my podcast. And for those of you listening on Spreaker and will be later listening to this as a pod on network radio, Meerkat is a streaming Twitter video application. Twitter has one called Periscope. They're both really, really cool, and both stream to Twitter, both have their advantages. Kind of like Meerkat better because the stream isn't totally covered up by comments and people going, I love you, I love you, I love you, so you can't really see what's going on in the stream. And also meerkats are just plain really cute, cool, and got sharp, pointy teeth. Right? I will admit that celebrities use Periscope. The cool people use meerkat. Although tonight I will probably stream my end of the Roundhouse Power Hour, whatever the hell we want to say, via Periscope tonight. Just I feel I should give equal time to Twitter video applications. Oh, thank you for somebody who got just give me a like with meerkats. Thank you. And what else is there to say? You know, I'm asking you guys. Is there anything you want me to talk about? Look about? No, I will not show you my movies. This is a family show, so just get that out of the way. Let me tell you a bit about what At the Table is supposed to be. It is I started this show while I was homeless as a podcast, and I was recording them live at Starbucks, and I would have guests. I'm still intending to have guests. It's just that trying to figure out a good time and place to meet up is difficult. It's New York City after all. I always do better when I have somebody to talk to, which is why I'm using your cat and to talk to, because it gives me the feeling that I'm talking to somebody. We don't tolerate trolls here, so if that is asked, I won't stay long yet. I was joking, Daru. I have to tell you, I was joking about that, but back in 1980, I did a show at San Francisco's premier punk club, the Fat Man, and I was part of, and I was paired with Betty Boop, and it was in 1980, it was a Nobody for President rally, and it was when Reagan was running for governor? No, he was running for president. And so I was on that stage by myself doing a dress tease, singing a parody song that I said, a song I wrote that set the lyrics to the theme from Nash, Suicide's Painless. And I was getting heckled by a couple of guys in the audience, and they were asking me to show my boobies. And the second guy who asked me, I made a deal with him. I basically told him I would show them mine, if he dropped his drawers and showed me his, and well, needless to say, they stopped heckling me. But boy, the look of panic on the club owners and the producers' faces were priceless. Just priceless. And I've been very, that just made it, along with the compliment I got from guitarist Jack Cassidy, who was with Starship, and then he had a band called SVT, who was like really positively impressed that I got on stage by myself. So, hey, I'm good. I should be living in 300 square feet. But I'm not happy here. It's kind of a nice place. I don't know. Give you the rest of the tour of it. Please forgive the beer bottle and the popcorn. So, besides my new bicycle, you can see that I have artwork on my walls. Yeah, I paint on top of the cabinetry there are pictures of my parents. The construction helmet there is from a rally. Some construction was being treated for cancer, and there is my put down the Whiskey Rebellion, but it's the flag that was flown when Washington put the rebellion down. I'm not that old. I might look that, but I am not that old. And I just hit the microphone again, so people listening to this with their headphones on, like my ears. So I seem to be on, if you tuned in before, you know that I have a thought process on creativity. Because you might be the worst poet in the world, but you're writing it for yourself. You might be not the best without it, but you're doing it for yourself. Or the best singer-songwriter, the best guitarist. I was watching the auditions for American Idol, and yeah, there were some really great singers, and you could hear the passion in their voices, and then there were some great singers, but they were just too into listening to themselves. I'm not a great singer, and I also have to listen to myself, which tends to make me nervous and makes me think I'm off pitch and everything, but we don't hear ourselves the same way other people hear us. Like, I hear myself an octave lower than you're probably hearing me. Or maybe you're hearing me an octave lower, I don't know. And then there's some guys that really should not pick up an instrument. But it was interesting seeing people, putting themselves out there, knowing that there's a good probability they're going to get rejected. And too many people are accustomed to everybody getting the award. And you can't do that. It's not possible. Zero-sum games are great, but there are still people who don't come in first or third. Great article on why coming in second is really losing. Can't remember the name for it, but it's a really good article. Because if it boils down to the second place is really the loser. So it's first and third place are the guys that, essentially do it. And to an extent, if you take a look at American Idol, a lot of people from that show have gone on to have bigger careers than the people who win it, which is kind of interesting, kind of interesting, cool, because they're out there, they're seen, and while they don't get the contract, they get the exposure, and it's really not so much, I think, for me, not when I watch it, it's not so much about the contract, but watching highly talented people, same thing with the voice, very, very talented people getting the opportunity to audition for agents, talent managers, bookers, casting directors, and being able to showcase what they can do. Here in New York City, we have something called, and it's expanded out to other cities. It's called the Manhattan Monologue Slam, and it starts with a 30-second competition where you can get up there and do your best 30-second monologue, and you get some critiquing from casting people, and then the people who attended, have to go up online and vote for at least 3 people. So the deck has to stack against and the person who actually gets the most votes out of this, they get a prize, prizes, but then they get to go into the next round of the slam, which is doing a full 3-minute piece. And I've seen some really good people out there. I came in second once. Last friend of mine did this really wonderful piece that she thought this was really hilarious. And I do Cruella de Vil, plotting revenge. for standards and musicians. So you've got this, got a friend here who says, she's Latin. Hi, Zerenloides? Zerenloid? X? See, I can't, this is like 8-point type on a retina display, and even then it's kind of hard for me to see. But I'm an old lady. I'm old. There we go. And makes it even worse, so I can't usually. I'm seeing reflection after reflection. It's like a reflection in the glasses, which I'm going to take them off because I think it'll make you nuts. And again, you're listening to At the Table. You're on radio.com and speaker.com. And I'm going to say, just a few minutes left, I'm going to say, good night, y'all. Stay tuned for our next program. Obviously, good, can't remember what it is, and I don't have it up in front of me. See what a good broadcaster I am. I don't even know what's happening to me. But it's really, and some good old time radio and stuff. So until the next time, this is Kelly saying thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you later tonight on the Roundhouse Power Hour of whatever the hell we want to talk about. That streams live, networksradio.com, but you can find us on the TuneIn app, or at our website, networksradio.com, and at midnight Eastern Time. So, plan accordingly. Go 9 midnight to 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And remember, if you don't have to go out in this nasty weather, don't. Just curl up under a blanket with something warm